Hey everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today, I want to explain another acronym. You hear me talk about it on the big channel from time to time. That is our approaching the vehicle acronym. And again, we're going to talk about why we use acronyms, but this can help you to organize your approach to a car to minimize your chance of attack. Once again, why do we use acronyms? They're memory devices, mnemonics. They help us to remember and they organize our thoughts and they give us key things to remember so that we're focused on the right things. When we're focused on extraneous stuff that's not important, it takes away from our time and makes us less efficient and less effective. When we have an acronym can help us to organize ourselves. When I was working on nuclear reactors in the United States Navy, that was my first big boy job many years ago. We had a bunch of acronyms and emergency checklists, and we used acronyms for those checklists so that we could make sure that we did them in the right order and we did what we needed to do the right way. I also pilot small aircraft. It's my kind of hobby and fun. And we have acronyms, ABCs and Gump's checks and, 8 tomato flames and all that stuff. If you're a pilot, you know what that stuff means. And we use those to have in mind, what is it that we need to do in the moment? What are the important things right now? And then that way we're not missing things that are important items. We did this in school, right? You did it with Roy G. Bibb. You did it with Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. King Philip Calls Out for Good Steak, several others. So these will help you if you'll put them in your mind. If it doesn't help you, don't use it. I mean, I'm not telling you got to do this or you're going to get killed on the streets. I'm saying this is a helpful way when you're walking out to your car, especially and specifically in a public place, okay? This is, if you're going down to your car in the garage with the car door closed, this isn't as important, okay? You can take your time because you're not in a transitional space. But a car that is in public, that is not behind a gate, that is, out there and stopped is a transitional space. And we see, how many have we seen on the channel of people getting into their car, walking to their car in a Walmart parking lot that get attacked as they get around their vehicle? I mean, all the time. That is like number one place. They're at the gas station. It is so common. It is ubiquitous. So we started saying, wait a minute, that's why we started playing Four Corners. So I'll put a link to Four Corners down in the description so that you can remember that when you're getting gas. and we make little games of things and little reminders, so then that way we do the right thing and we minimize our risks. Now, as we're walking up to the car, and as we get in the car, we have come up with an acronym, and that acronym is pretty simple, and I think it makes a lot of sense in the modern American vernacular. It's, hey, let's go. And if we use, hey, let's go, then it will help us to organize our thoughts and to do the things that we need to do to get on the way quickly. As we're approaching the car, we use hey. Hey stands for head up, eyes scanning, yellow condition. Hey, head up, eyes scanning, yellow condition. How many times have you been guilty of using your thought vacuum and being like this, walking up to your car, goofing off, looking at your phone, and how many people do you see doing that? Instead, as you approach your vehicle, you want your head up, not buried, not down here looking like this, not with your hood down, not scratching your eyeball, but head up, eyes scanning, okay? Head up, eyes scanning to see what's going on. And yellow condition. So what do we mean yellow condition? That's Jeff Cooper's color code of awareness. White is oblivious to the world. Yellow is observant and paying attention. Orange says something's wrong. Orange says, whoa, time out. Something is not right here, and I have to investigate. Red means I am forced to defend. That something is wrong. There's a threat, and I need to address that threat. Here we want to be in condition yellow, curious about our world, right? Just observing, seeing, curious, looking for a baseline, making sure everything is normal. I'm not kung fu fighting. I'm not Blues Brothers, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not, looking for a fight, head on a swivel, have a plan to kill everyone I meet. Nah, I'm just curious. I'm just seeing out in the world where I am. And so if I go out into these spaces, head up, eyes scanning, yellow condition, I'll be great. I want to show you a little example of this from my gym, right? As you're coming out and getting towards leaving the gym, there's glass doors, and you can look through the glass doors into the parking lot. And can you just be curious and say, hey, what's out there? Is everything normal out there? Yes, it is. Cool. I can continue on. Then as I get out into the parking lot, I can look left and look right as I get out there. I don't have to, again, be, I'm just looking around. Is everything normal? I look at my car. Is everything normal here? Is everything as I expect it to be? Asking the questions and being intentional. Then as I approach the vehicle, again, head up, eyes scanning, condition yellow. I actually look under the vehicle. I have a pickup truck, so it's got some ground clearance. And I can look under the vehicle. Are there's feet underneath my car? If so, I might take a little wider approach. They could be getting into the other car or out of the other car. Doesn't mean there's a ninja back there waiting to kill me, but it does mean, okay, wait a minute, let's not let that jump me before I figure out what the heck is going on there. And at night, I'll use a flashlight and just look around and see what's going on around my car. Now, I'm not going to circle my car 4 times, but I'm just going to look as I come up and say, does it look normal? Is everything around me looking okay? That's hey. And if you are doing that and that alone, your chances of attack are ridiculously diminished. The vast majority of people that I see get attacked, they're totally focused on themselves. They get in their car or they get close to their car without another thought in the world. The bad guys see that, and that's when they use to attack. Now, once we get in the car, it's let's go. That doesn't mean boogie as fast as you can. It's more acronym. L, lock the doors. As soon as you get in the car, lock the doors. Don't waste time on this, right? So if you grab the handle, like my truck, when I hold the handle to the door, it unlocks the driver's side door. Or if I do the passenger side and hold that handle, it unlocks the door because I got the key in my pocket. And if your car has that, great. Otherwise, as you approach the car, unlock the door, and you might hear on your car, it might unlock and go beep, beep. But if somebody's been in the car or the alarm's gone off, it'll go beep, 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 beep. It'll give you some kind of alarm that something's wrong. When you get in the car, lock the doors immediately. Now, of course, there's going to be a challenge here, some with parents, right? You're like, but I got little ones that need to get in the car. Okay, get them in the car and pay attention as best you can while you're getting them in the car. If you've got an infant that you've got a seat that has to click in, totally get that, right? But most of those now, it like pops out of your baby stroller and into there in one seat. You're not taking the baby in and out of those things, just pop out and pop in. When they're a little bit older, yeah, the seat's a little big and you got to do that these days, but that's for a relatively short time. When you got kind of, older toddlers, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, 5-year-olds not really a toddler anymore, but 3, 4-year-olds, they want to strap themselves in. Let them, right? Okay, climb in and I'm going to close the door. Okay, you get in, strap in, close the door. If you're a mom and you got a minivan, heck, do you realize you can get in the minivan, put the kids in, get in the minivan and close the doors to the minivan and lock them while you strap your kids in. Might be a little warm in the summer times, but most cars these days, they've got a remote start where you can get the air conditioning going. You probably want to do that anyways. So get in and lock the doors. This is another reason that from a safety perspective that I let my wife into the car. Now I do that as a primary reason, because my wife's too important to open her own doors, right? It's not a thing that she's too weak to do that or anything like that. She's too important. Just like the president doesn't open his own doors, my wife does not open her own doors when I'm around because she's too important for that. So I open her door, let her in the car, and then close that door. So then that way she doesn't have to deal with it. Also, now I know her door is closed and completely closed so that when I get in the car, I can lock the doors and we have a barrier up. Man, if you watch the big channel, how many attacks in cars, how many carjackings would be stopped if the door was simply locked? Simple as that. That's probably the most important one once you get in the car. Just lock the doors first and foremost. So again, that's L on let's go. E, engine on. Start the engine immediately. Don't wait to start the engine. I know people get sucked inside the car when they're getting in the car because they're getting all their crap together. Hold off a second on that. Get in, lock the door, start the engine. So that's E. Why want to get that engine started? Because a car that's not running is a coffin, all right? If something bad happens, you ain't going nowhere. Get the engine started. It'll only take you a few seconds because you're not going to dawdle here, so you're not wasting a ton of gas. T, transmission engaged. Yes, I mean it. You want to get your transmission engaged as soon as that engine is running and going. Foot on the brakes, transmission, whether that's in reverse because you're going to be reversing out, or in drive if you're going to be going straight forward, because a mobile vehicle is better. Now, yes, you want to keep that brake on, but you want to get your transmission engaged. So then that way, if you've got to go, somebody does approach and you miss them ahead of time, you've got mobility, okay? So Lock the doors, engine on, transmission engaged. S is the final letter in let's. Now we put our seatbelt on. So how do I put my seatbelt on? I've got my foot on the brake. I've just put my transmission in drive. I'm gonna reach over here with my right hand and grab and look. So I'm doing a seatbelt and a scan at the same time. So I use this to look over this shoulder and make sure that everything's okay over here. Come back, and as I bring the seatbelt around, I am scanning with that and clicking my seatbelt in. Do the opposite side if you're in the passenger side. So use that motion that you're scanning to give yourself a scan, and you give yourself a little scan time as well. So looking outside the car for a final scan. That's good too, not just from a defensive kung fu perspective, but to see if there's other cars around, to see if it's going to be safe for you to move. G and O are our last two. G means get organized. Now's the time where you put your crap away. You know, if you're a lady, or dudes do this now too, you know, you got your purse with you and you got to put it down. You need to set up your Bluetooth for your speaker. You make sure that the kids have gotten themselves strapped in. Of course, you got to make sure that everybody's, seatbelted in. Get yourself organized and your crap all out of the way. Your mirrors adjusted if you need to do that. And then O is on your way. All that shouldn't take you 15 seconds to work through all of Let's Go once you get in the car, okay? So let's walk back through it. Walking up to the car, hey, head up, eyes scanning yellow condition. Make sure that you are head up, eyes scanning yellow condition. Once I get to the car, get anybody else in the car first, then as you get in the car, it's let's go. Lock the doors, engine on, transmission engaged, seat belts and scan, get organized, and on your way. Don't waste time sitting in a transitional space and sitting there. We see people get attacked there on a regular basis. Now you might say, but John, I live in a nice neighborhood. I don't got to worry about that stuff. Okay, then that's on you. I see stuff like this go down in bad neighborhoods and in good neighborhoods. And so a moving car is much safer than a stationary car. So I use the Hey Let's Go acronym. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood and I live in a pretty nice spot, and I get gas at Costco. So it's the least transitional space gas station that exists, but I still play four corners at the gas pump. I still, when I get in the car, even in a nice place, I use Hey Let's Go. And I use that not to hurry. I'm not, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm just using that as a reminder for myself. Okay, let's go. Door gets closed, lock the doors, engine on, transmission engaged, seat belt with a scan real quick. Okay, get my stuff organized, everything looks good, on our way. And that's what we use Hey Let's Go, and why we use these acronyms to make sure that we do our checklists quickly so we don't forget something. Hope it helps you to cover your ASP.